start with something that Donald Trump is seizing on today. Trump says that while you were making your closing pitch for unity last night, President Biden was calling his supporters garbage. What did you think when you heard President Biden make those comments?
Well, first of all, I think that the president has explained what he meant. But I've said it earlier. I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. And that I've made that clear throughout my career, including my speech last night before I think this all happened, which is I intend to be a president for all Americans, and including those who may not vote for me in this election. I take very seriously my obligation and my oath to concern myself first with the needs of the American people and put them before whatever might be my selfish issues. And when I look at it in terms of just my career and some people are just getting to know me. I started my career as a prosecutor. And I had never in my career asked anyone, are you a Democrat or Republican? I never asked anybody who you vote for. The only thing I asked folks is, are you okay? And that's the kind of president I'll be.
Now, we know this election is going to be extremely close. Liz Cheney is out there campaigning for you. She's urging Republicans to vote for you. She says they don't have to tell anybody. Do you need Republicans to do that in order to win?
Here's how I think about it. I really want to bring our country together. We've had about a decade of this Trump era that has been all about, there's so much about it that's been about dividing people and having Americans point their fingers at each other. And I think people are exhausted with it. And it's not empowering. We're going to all have our differences. We're a democracy. That's what we love about being American. We have those differences and we have those debates at the Thanksgiving table. It's our nature, but not to the point that we're turning our backs on each other and calling each other the enemy within because we disagree. So I invite anyone and everyone to be a part of our campaign, knowing that this is about putting the country before petty grievances and frankly, the kind of thing that has been, I think, so horribly destructive in terms of our spirit, much less our productivity.
But who are these voters who you think are still up for grabs? Do Republicans have to back you in order for you to win in 6 days?
I think the American people have to back me. It has to be the will of the American people that I be the next president, and that it is me sitting in the Oval Office with my to-do list instead of Donald Trump sitting there with his enemies list.
You mentioned that to-do list. You've made clear you're going to be armed with that list if you get into the Oval Office, but you haven't made clear what is at the very top of that list.
Oh, but I have made that clear. My highest priority is to bring down prices and bring down costs. It's one of the biggest issues that is affecting the American people. I've been traveling the country. They know the price of groceries is still too high. I know it's still too high. Bringing down the cost of housing, bringing down taxes for middle-class families so they can not just get by but get ahead. Those are my highest priorities.
So day one, it's price gouging. That is where you start.
Day one is my priority. It's about a package of policies. Go to my website, KamalaHarris.com, that are all about bringing down costs for the American people.
In 2020, we saw Donald Trump come out and prematurely claim victory on election night. I know you've got a whole team of lawyers standing at the ready, but what is your plan? What are you going to do if he does that again?
Well, we are sadly ready if he does, if we know that he is actually manipulating the press and attempting to manipulate the consensus of the American people based on fiction instead of fact. We're prepared to respond.
Are you concerned he's going to try to interfere again with the certification of the election results? What will you do then?
I don't know. I think he is capable of anything as proven by what he did on January 6th. No president of the United States, former president of the United States who lost an election, would ever have done and never did, or even come close to what Donald Trump did on January 6th. He incited a mob to attack the United States Capitol. 140 law enforcement officers were injured. Some were killed.
Are you preparing for another potential January 6th? Another situation like that?
I am right now preparing for these next 6 days. I am in 3 states today. I'm going to be on the road full time. I am taking nothing for granted. I need to earn the vote of the American people. That is my responsibility, and that's what I'm doing for these next 6 days.
In this final sprint, I do want to ask you something about something Michelle Obama said over the weekend. She said she thinks that there's a double standard, that you're being treated differently from Donald Trump. Do you agree?
I need to earn the vote of the people, and that is the work I am doing. I take nothing for granted. I need to be out here listening to folks, talking with folks about their needs, and responding with a plan, which I have. And as I've said, when I am elected president, and I fully intend to be elected, I will start that to-do list on day one.
You sound increasingly confident on the trail in recent days. You've said we are going to win. What makes you so confident now?
Well, I've
It's
been
neck
saying
and
that.
neck.
I've been saying that for the 3.5, 4 months that I've been in this race, because I feel the energy of the people. And in particular, I have to say, Mary, what I feel is that people are coming together of every different walk of life. Look at this crowd. People of every background, race, age, coming together. I think people are hungry for it. Last night in D.C., I'm told we had 100,000 people who really are ready to, as I say, turn the page. They really are.
You are promising to bring people together, even people you disagree with. You say, well, have a seat at the table. How do you convince Trump supporters of that, though, when you're calling their candidate a would-be dictator, a petty tyrant?
I am talking to everyone as an American, regardless of who they voted for in the last election.
And one last question. I know you have said that this is a campaign about substance, not identity, but I'm sure it's crossed your mind. What do you think when you envision the history that you may make?
I'm fully aware of my gender and race, so let's start there. And I know that it will be very significant in terms of the glass that will be broken. But I do not expect that anyone is going to vote for me because of my gender or race. It has to be because I earned their vote with a plan to make their life better.
Madam Vice President, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary.
And good luck.
Thank you. And thank you. Thank you.
Mary Bruce one-on-one with the Vice President. She joins us now from North Carolina. And Mary, what comes next for Harris over the next few days?
Well, she is now taking this closing message, this pitch for unity on the road. She is doing multiple events, hitting multiple battleground states a day. Today, after hitting North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, tomorrow she heads out west. She's in Arizona and Nevada. Kamala Harris telling me today she isn't taking anything for granted.
Waiting until Tuesday. All right, Mary Bruce from Raleigh, North Carolina. Thanks so much, Mary.